All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Fireside Chats.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Lou Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a Tuesday. Fireside Chats with Big Chief Burrito, coming at you live from the Burrito Lounge in Chula Vista, California. I hope everybody's having a good start to the month of March. Quick reminder, if you're watching this for the first time, I do stream every week with interviews about topics that I care about, acting, life. Today we're going to be talking about pet adoption, pet rescue. This guy right here, big reason we're talking today. That's my boy Baxter, sitting there comfortably with Shy Girl. But make sure that if you do catch the stream for the first time, you follow us on Facebook.com/2am Burrito, Twitch.tv/2am Burrito, and of course, YouTube.com/2am Burrito. Also remind you that the podcast will be available a few days after the live event, and that is usually on the 2am Burrito network here. Quick intro. We're going to bring in our guest here momentarily, but a few months back, several months back, actually, pre-pandemic, about a year and a half ago, my boy Baxter, who's a rescue pit sitting back there comfortably, started bleeding out of his nose. He just all of a sudden was running around the house coughing, and I was like, did he get into something? Did he get hit by a bird? Did he get hit by a cat or something outside? But he didn't seem to have anything external. He just kept coughing up blood, just spraying it everywhere. And I freaked out because as a pet owner, you know, you immediately think the worst. Oh my God, my dog's getting older. You know, what's going to happen to him, et cetera, et cetera. It's real rough when you're a pet owner in that situation. You panic. So I took him to the emergency room for animals. We're lucky enough in the United States to be in a society where this is a possibility, right? You take them to an ER for dogs, right? But the problem is just to do tests, just to check them out. They were like, listen, you're looking at probably like $1,000, $1,200 just for the tests so we can know what's going on. So, you know, the first night I said, you know what, I just want you to try to stop the bleeding. I want you to, you know, give him just the most rudimentary, the more basic things so I can figure out what's up with him. And even that cost me several $100 the first night. So I reached out to a couple of people I know, Jace Vendetti. And I was like, man, do you know any organizations that are out there? Just, you know, women of prayer, just like, hey, let me just reach out to people that I know. And he's like, dude, call this guy right now. He gave me the number. And he said, you know, check out We Saved the Puppy. They helped me and my girl out with some information when we needed help. They're good people. Reach out to them. So call this guy. I tell him, hey, this was happening with my dog. And he says to me, he's like, where are you? Do you have a crate? I'll be there in an hour. And I was like, okay. Hour later, he was on his way with my dog to get him some much needed medical care. It was, about a week's worth of pain and suffering for me not having him. They ran tests, they figured it out. End of the day, based on having him take care of him and bring him back, it didn't cost me more than $400 or $500, which was, again, probably 1 hour's worth of care as I would have gotten in the ER here. So ever since then, I've tried to recommend him and to help out when I can. Obviously, during the pandemic, it's tougher than others. But once I did get the show off the ground, I always had in the back of my mind, at some point, I'm going to have Brian on. We're going to talk about We Saved the Puppy, talk about pet rescues, and that is tonight. So that is the reason that he came on the radar. That is my dog back there that's still resting comfortably at home, thanks to the hard work that he did and to the organization that he funded. And so joining us live today for Fireside Chat is Mr. Brian Volbenzi from We Saved a Puppy. How you doing today, man? Wait. Did I mute you or did you mute yourself? Okay, it looks like you muted yourself. You muted yourself. Oh, well, he'll be back in a second. But hey, Serpent Derp, thanks for showing up. If you have any questions regarding pet adoptions, pet rescue, anything of that matter, once Brian gets back on, we'll make sure that we get those questions answered. Just hopefully he'll be back on. So in the meantime, locally here, I wanted to let you guys know that, hey, Amy, thanks for stopping by. Brian should be back on in a second. He is trying to reconnect. There he is.
Good to go, guys. Just had to reconfigure the whole thing.
All right.
Lizzy's fault. It's she pressed a button. It's what can you do, right, Lizzy?
Maybe she had a fart or something. She was like, I'm shy.
Hey, on the show. Appreciate that.
Okay, sorry. After that long ass intro, then all of a sudden we can't get you on. So
it's all worth it. We got a puppy. So
what's her name again?
This is Lizzy the Lizard. I rescued her about 3 years ago. Never had a small dog in my life. Always German Shepherds, Pit Bulls, Huskies. And I rescued this one. And then she was badly beaten. She had dried blood on the side. She had mange on the top of her head and on her back. And she just essentially wanted only me. I had her at a foster. She refused to eat or drink water. And she just went on hunger strikes. So how could I refuse?
One of those foster fails.
For them, it failed back to me. she only wanted me. It was funny. But now she's my little road dog. I think you met her. She probably tried to attack your pit bull at one point. She's a chihuahua.
They're ferocious. Thanks for everybody that's stopping by. Again, if you have any questions for Brian about pet adoptions, etc., this is the time to talk to him. Amy stopping by saying hi. Thank you for stopping by, Amy. So let's get right into it, man. When you started, you're pretty much been like a successful guy. You have a whole different career than animal rescue.
I design app development, and my other company, it's called lajoyaweb.com. It's our portfolio website. And then the passion for animals I've had since I was a small child, of course. And I never really had any time to do that, but really bad motorcycle accident, which it broke my right leg in 36 places. I broke my neck, dislocated my shoulders. Took me 3 years to walk again. That kind of was like, okay. My heart stopped for about a minute. I was revived. So that kind of gave me some inspiration to do something good. And then I lived in Mexico when I was younger. So I always want to do something because there's literally millions of animals just in really, really bad conditions, getting treated very poorly. So I was like, okay, I'm going to slowly but surely help. It's been about 4 years now, and we've helped thousands of animals, and we've saved families, just like in your situation, we've saved families millions of dollars on animal medical care. Here's our little magnet that we keep on the car. And there's our 1-800 number. So if you guys do need animal medical care, feel free to contact us here. And you can view the thousands of rescues and animals that we've helped on our Instagram page. It's at We Saved a Puppy, all one word.
So you've loved animals from when you were young. You had this kind of life-changing experiment that brings you to this position where. So was it just the time in rehab? Is it just like you're doing your exercises and your PT, and then you're like, I wanna add some meaning to my life, or was it something that where you always had this thought in the back of your head, and then this sort of time to meditate sort of allowed it to like germinate fully?
Well, so when I was younger, 19, you can't go to the bars and the clubs. So we used to go down to Tijuana. So I ended up meeting a girl down there, moved down there. And ever since then, I just saw all these poor animals everywhere. And of course, I tried to do as much as I could, but I was working 6-7 days a week, 15-hour days. The idea was I was saving up to buy my condo. And then the accident kind of, took pretty much all my savings and put me in a wheelchair for 3 years. So, I said, you know what? I survived this. I want to do something to get back my second chance.
So like a second act, so to speak.
Exactly.
Now, the main thing that when I knew I was going to talk to you, one of the things that, because I like to be involved myself as much as I can with animals. Most of the animals I had over the last 15 years have all been rescued from one level to another, but I also know that it has to seem like it's a revolving door, because the animals that you help today, unless you change, unless there's a way for people to culturally change the way that they feel and respect animals as part of their ecosystem, do you feel that you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again? Because like, is it a fair statement to say that there will always be street dogs in Tijuana, or do you think that there's a way to change that thought process?
Like 40 years from now, but I guarantee you, it's definitely going to be a thing. But the culture is changing. Now it's a status symbol to have a dog down there. When I was down there when I was a kid, it wasn't. People you never saw anybody having a dog on a leash ever. And now it's just getting more and more popularized. So it is slowly but surely. And then social media is, causing people to be more and more responsible. Anybody does anything wrong now, whether it's, cut somebody off on the freeway or, try to pick a fight. Now everybody's like this, like they're filming you. So people are like kind of more socially conditioned, like, oh, I can't act a fool. And we're seeing that all over the world, including Tijuana, Mexico. So, I mean, slowly but surely, it is, going to happen. I mean, I hope it's going to happen, fingers crossed. And I'm trying to, I don't just pick dogs off the streets. Chihuahua. Give me 1 second.
As Baxter, who's the dog that he helped me save, destroys my bed in the background. We're talking live with Brian Volbenzi from We Saved a Puppy.org. Make sure that if you guys, I know they're always looking for volunteers. They're always looking for people to do fosters, to be a future foster failure, so to speak.
Okay.
All right, come on, calm down, babe.
She's a little dog in a big mind.
Well, yeah. So because let's say there's a difference in the way different different cultures treat animals. Like one of the coldest memes I've seen recently was when they said, somebody said, "Hey, do people know, or do white people know that the dogs in Flint, Michigan also don't have clean water?" Sort of a statement on the fact that in America dogs get treated. But if you talk about like Asia, some parts of Europe, South America, they're meant as just as objects. There's a cultural disregard for it, like a dog that's on the street. But you think that it's slowly evolving to where the culture is adapting, at least locally?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's just the right thing to do. I mean, we look at all of history, And eventually there's always a shift in the paradigm of what people's mentalities are. And, no one can say that, these little animals aren't, just like little babies. If anybody's ever had a dog, and I mean, you can see this little dog. I mean, she was badly abused. She was hurt, and now she's just completely loved. And, she's just a child. So anybody, who has had a dog or has friends or family who's had dogs, they can see that they have little souls, and they can see that they're here to protect and love you. And that's why dogs are going to win eventually. And it's just like, look at what happened in China recently. They just passed a legislative law where you cannot sell, wild meats like they used to, like the bats and all these other things. And that's for, COVID-19. Things are like evolving, and that they will always be evolving. I mean, imagine 400 years from today. Imagine how much different things would be. Imagine the attitudes being different. So yes, I think right now we are kind of just, I mean, how long have we had the internet now? You know what I mean?
Thanks to Al Gore.
Well, there you go. But you see how things have evolved so rapidly in just a short span of time? It's going to happen. And more people are going to realize that, they don't have to work the labor jobs, especially now that, Elon Musk and several other companies are computerizing everything. So the world's changing at such a rapid rate right now. So I do feel that it's going to happen.
All right, I'm pulling up your page here so we can see a couple of the rescue. This is one I like. This one here because you can see the before and after on the pup. You bring them in, they're emaciated. You can see down the backbone, their entire spine, and then you can see him here in a yard, like happy, just like enjoying the sun. Like,
if you swipe one over, you can actually see we video document the rescues.
okay.
So we actually take you there. We video document the rescues, how we find these animals. We also video document all of the medical care. I mean, I've been around the internet. I've seen that people, they can say anything. And that's why I like to show you our work. I want you to be there. See, this is myself, and Lizzy's in the backpack behind me. See, he goes everywhere with me, that little dog.
To be honest, when
there's the
this was
vaccinations, we like to show everything. And then there's the adoption. And that all happened within 24 hours. The dog was medically cleared. We also drew blood and plasma to verify. Generally, they have low platelets due to fleas and ticks, which is going to be causing something called Ehrlichia. And, we just want to make sure all the animals are as healthy as possible. And then we also work with several animal hospitals, and I also am a vet tech. So I assist with the surgeries as well. And I'm currently opening up my own animal hospital in Mexico.
Yeah, and one of the things that sort of freaked me out about Baxter's case, which is like I'm sitting here watching the examination, like on Instagram Live, like making decisions in real time about his care and stuff like that, which was, to me at the moment it was happening, a little bit jarring. But I understand the need for I guess transparency, and for people to at least be able to see, that you're not just kind of like, you're not doing this for vanity. You're not doing this for clout. You're doing this because you have from my perspective, a genuine respect and love for animals.
Oh, for sure. And if you look at my Instagram and my Facebook and my Twitter and TikTok, you never ever see me saying I did this. If anything, I say it's Lizzy. Like, we were in Walmart the other day. We had to spend $500 for food and crates at Walmart. And I had her dress up in a little dinosaur outfit. And I was like, look at what Lizzy's doing for the rescue. Look, she's helping the animals out. Because to me, it's not about myself. Like, I'm just an energy that's collecting other energies or like-minded minds to go ahead and do this. I mean, I'm just showing everybody that we've done, and I want people to jump on board based off of not like influencer. Oh, hey, check this out. I don't want to pay an influencer. I want people to make up their own minds. Okay,
Absolutely.
like, I mean, let's go. Let's see what's going on. Just today, here's a couple of babies that we just got today.
Okay, I can pull it up.
Yeah. Here's and we have like thousands of rescues. We have thousands of animals. We video document surgeries. We do TTA surgeries. We do spinal cord surgeries. We do MRIs. We do, of course, X-rays, blood works, plasma works, tumor removal. Excuse me. Prophylaxis surgery, dental cleaning. Those are 4 boxers that we just got in that will be available for adoption. I mean, we show everything, and I think that's the way it should be, because right now people are getting their knowledge based off of somebody who has a lot of fans, somebody who gets a lot of likes, and that doesn't mean that that person is right or they're not trying to scam you. You know, I think the proof is in the pudding. Like look at all the work, look at the years of work, and look at the thousands of animals that we've helped, and look at the millions of dollars that we've saved families. I mean, I've had families fly out from New York to come, you know, to receive medical care through me, because it was literally cheaper to fly out from New York round trip, rent a hotel for 7 days, get the surgery, and then bring the dog back home, rather than going to a veterinarian there in New York. So it tells you something. I mean, sad, but I mean, it's just really overly expensive.
Well,
a lot of this care.
Like I said, we're fortunate enough that if something happens, you usually have, you know, emergency pet hospitals, but they're a business. Veterinarians are a business. I remember several years back, one of my cat got hit by a car in my driveway, and I was at work. My father called me, says, I'm taking him to the emergency room. When I get to the emergency room, they ask you, are you the owner of the cat? And my dad said, no, it's my son. And they said, well, we need to talk to your son about the cat's care. So I leave work, rush down to the animal hospital, and I get there, and it's very clear as day that they should have put this cat down like an hour ago, you know. But since I was the registered owner, they had to let me make that decision, and it seems like it was also because of the fact that you're the one that's more emotionally tied to it. So they basically said, look, the cat got run over, it's probably going to die, but we could give him fluids and then do this for his brain, and then we can put him on this, and then it's going to cost you this much per hour, and this is much like this. And I was just like, he doesn't even look like himself. He looks like you're just propping him alive. That you should have done this. Yeah. You should have put him to sleep mercifully.
Can you do a quick favor? Because I mean, this is actually super ironic that you mentioned this. Go back in the Instagram really quick, and I'll show you. I want you to pull up a story that we just did 2 weeks ago. Okay. This little girl and her cat was just run over by a car 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so they came, and you know, due to COVID, the family was, you know, financially struggling, just like a lot of people are. The veterinarian hospital charged them about $800 just to put a cast on and take an X-ray, which is ridiculous. And you know, they're like, hey, you know, we're really financially struggling, and you know, this is my daughter's cat. And now the hospital not only they just did really poor care with this poor cat. But the leg was shattered. It wasn't just broken. So they're like, oh, no, just keep the cast on it and it should heal on its own, which was a complete lie. And this video will actually show that, how bad the leg was shattered. You see it right there? Mm-hmm. Now, we did this surgery completely free for the family. So we not only, you know, took him in, we immediately did the surgery. We saved this cat's leg. And tomorrow morning, I'm taking in another dog that got run over, and we're going to try to save that dog's leg too. They were quoted $8,000 for the surgery. Shit. With no guarantees. So, and then I have a gentleman who's bringing a Frenchie to me very soon. That might have been him that texted. I'm doing a stegnotic surgery for his dog. He's a French bulldog. They have issues breathing. Essentially, we drill out the nostrils. So I mean, it's just the medical care is so expensive. And fortunately, we've been able to save families a lot of money for elderly people, for people that are disabled. And, you know, for this little girl, you know, if she loves her cat, she's had it since it was a kitten. Imagine being that, you know, 9-year-old child and your poor cat gets run over, how traumatic it is. And then your family can't afford to save it. I mean, it's really, really difficult.
We're checking in with Brian Volbenzi from We Saved a Puppy, talking live about his organization, WeSaveThePuppy.org, and what they're doing for animals. Let me catch up on some comments here. Thanks for everybody that's stopping by.
Live podcast.
All right, here you go. The old call while you're live. Amy K says, absolutely, my dog is my family. Well, we're talking today about how people. Don't worry about it. Enslaved by Vegetable says, we all know that cats rule and dogs drool. Am I right, guys? No, shut up.
I have a cat too. So.
Enslaved by Vegetables. This is stay in your lane. Brian, any update on the sick boxer puppies? Are they still on track to head to adoptive homes this week?
We have received hundreds of applications for them. And in that case, we kind of have tiebreakers. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and nobody on the board of directors pays ourselves. So we do all this work completely free. So we want people to donate to our organization so we can save even more lives. So we've had hundreds of applications on them. So we look for, do you have the space for a dog this size? Do you have the time to take care of a puppy? Then also we look at, like, how long have you been following us? Are you a monthly donor? Have you fostered? Have you volunteered? How often do you like, share, comment on our posts? All those things are factors when we adopt, you know, dogs out. And boxer puppies, I mean, everybody wants a boxer puppy. They're just wonderful dogs. And these poor dogs, we got them, they were abandoned at the animal hospital for 3 months. The other siblings of these guys passed away. So we
saved these two.
We covered their medical care costs and respiratory issues is what they were having. And there's 4 of them that hopefully we're going to be able to bring up tomorrow. We have a foster, and then we're making our decisions on who we're letting adopt out.
All right, Miguel stopping in. What's up, Miguel? Key phrase, who's financially responsible for the pet? They prey on emotion. Yeah, unfortunately, even though I think everybody that says, I want to be a vet, goes into it for probably the right reasons, once you're in that, that's definitely an industry. So they're going to talk to the person that's the most emotionally invested in the animal so that they can, you know, even when you're putting an animal to sleep, it's like, well, wouldn't you rather pay an extra $800 and get this extra special box? They got me for my boy Tango when I had to put him down. It was like, okay, we can put him in a box for this much, but we can send you this frilly box with this and this, you know, as well. So it is an industry. I do want to get back to, I know you say it's changing culturally and it's becoming more of a status symbol and stuff like that in Mexican culture to have a dog, where maybe there's less people that are taking them for granted or treating them badly. But do you think that as you are doing this work, and we're going to get into some of the stories of what's happened to you while you've been performing these duties, but do you also think that there needs to be more done for people to learn about neutering and stuff like that, and kind of like, because I have this feel like in Latino culture, at least, it's like, I've heard people say, well, I don't want to deny my dog the right to be a mother, like motherhood. And to me, that's basically putting like a human emotion and sort of placing it onto an animal, when really, you know, the studies have shown that animals that, you know, getting your dog's balls cut off is a good thing for them because they won't be as aggressive. You know, it helps them and stuff like that. But where do you fall on giving that education out to people as you're doing your job?
I'm going to go ahead and actually show you a real-time situation for a lady who contacted me today. A little bit graphic, but when you don't spay your dogs,
if you want to send it to me on Instagram or something, I can put it up on the screen if you want to, if it's a video or something.
You know what? Let me look it up and I'll send it directly to you. But essentially, it is very healthy to spay your dogs at a specific age. You don't want an older dog. This dog was only 4 years old, and poor thing was suffering with, let's see, I'm just trying to find it for you guys.
That's fine.
I found it. I'm gonna show you. This is her boxer, and I'll text it to you too, so you can put it up. Let me do that for you right now.
Send it to me on Instagram. I have my IG up, so I can just put it up.
Perfect. Doing it right now, buddy. But it's actually healthy to spay and neuter your dogs, not only for a male dog.
It never stops.
This never stops. It really doesn't.
No, I know.
Give me 1 second. Hey, Weston. Are you here with your pup? How you doing?
Yeah.
Wait,
Can you hear me?
I can.
I'll mute you real quick. All right, guys, we're live with Brian Volbenzi from WeSaveThePuppy.org. You can see it right there on the bottom. We've been showing pictures from his Instagram here. Wait, let me go down to the. Let me not put that there. From his Instagram, let me bring it back up. There we go. And you can help out. There's brand new pit bulls that they just are rescuing from TJ right now. There are other types of dogs here. They can help you with your medical bills. Like I said, man, when I had my issue with Baxter, if we scroll far enough back, we'll probably find him. But if we go back to the situation that I had with my dog Baxter, it was $200-300 just for the initial test at the vet here. And after all was said and done, Brian picked him up, didn't once ask me for money at the beginning. I had to bring it up myself. I was like, what's all this going to cost? And he was like, dude, you'll get my discount at the vet. All I'm going to charge you for is to bring him and bring him back, and we'll work something out. Don't worry about it. First and foremost, we were just thinking about making sure that he was okay. And once I saw that and I saw what care he had with the dogs, and then there was no reason for me to be worried. So there's definitely a lot of organizations that are more bark than bite, so to speak. But I believe Brian is one of the guys here that's doing it for real. So yeah, so take a look at his page, take a look at the organization, and we're going to talk a little bit more about kind of what he's been going through.
Yeah, I sent you that picture if you want to show it.
Okay.
The dog that we are looking at doing surgery for, we're looking to spay her as well. So this is one of the issues that you have when you don't spay your female dogs. So not only do we have to spay her now, but we also have to remove that. So it's a very expensive surgery. She was quoted $1,500 just to remove that, and then of course $450 for the spay. So you're looking at about a $2,000 thing in San Diego for just not spaying your animal. So.
John Vasquez, who's a big friend of my dog Baxter, says thank you for helping Baxter, Brian. Yeah, he's sleeping. We're talking about you. But yeah, the cultural thing is one aspect that I've always thought about, because I feel like until there's a real conversation in the Latin culture about how we feel about animals and why we think that they're just disposable. I remember growing up and I would have a dog and my friends would be like, "Are you going to fight him?" I'd be like, "No, I'm not going to fight my dog. I don't want my dog to fight." And they just and I feel that as much work as you put in, unless other people and the culture is changing and more information is getting into people about the fact that it doesn't make your dog any less of a dog not to have balls or to not be able to have puppies. It doesn't make it'll probably make your female dog a lot healthier because she won't be all stretched out. And anytime somebody feels like I want my dog to experience having puppies, they should really stop, look at the type of dog that they have, and realize that at any given point in shelters across the United States, there are thousands of that is specific same type of dogs. If you love pit bulls, there are thousands of pit bulls sitting in cages right now that are 90% going to die because there's way too many of them breeding. There are so many dogs breeding that thousands, that a million dogs are murdered in the United States every year or more, because people wanted their dogs to have puppies, right? So no matter how much work that you do, I think the educational part of that is something that has to be part of your program, right?
It is actually. So what I do, and you'll see this in videos. As a matter of fact, do you mind pulling up another video? And it really kind of perfectly explains kind of what I do. And so if you scroll down just a little bit, it is It's this one right here. It's
Give me a
really hard to see. I know it is.
Give me a second.
Sure. You know, and I could always just send it to you.
Let me
Your
know.
username on Insta is what again?
Big Chief Burrito.
Gotcha.
Tell me know if you see it on your screen now. Like,
I sent it to you.
okay, got it. All right, let me remove
So
that.
this kind of shows you what I do. Like I'll go up to these places. They have these poor dogs just outside, very short metal leash, and
You're using a charging cord?
they're using a charging cord.
Hey, buddy. Why are you turned up like that? Hey. Oh, you're very
And
sweet.
this actually shows my story too.
Let's go ahead and talk to the neighbors right now. I'll knock on the door. Hola. Hey guys, we're here. We saved a puppy, and we're just helping out some families in Mexico today while we're getting surgeries done. And this is Jackie. So Jackie gets a new collar today. Oh, see, they're using a charging cord.
And then switch for
They're
parts.
using a charging cord. Okay. There we go. Oh, look at you. Oh my goodness.
No, sí es bien traviesa,
Yes, you love it.
súper traviesa.
Oh, you got me. Okay, well, buenas noches y búscalo en el Facebook. Okay.
Órale.
Okay, buenas suertes. Bye. Adios.
Yeah, that kind of says I've been stabbed, shot at, beaten, unconscious, robbed, and ridiculed, and so I press on because I believe, you know. So I mean that's kind of what you do. Obviously, I use my social media influence to gain that influence, and there's already a big rescue community there in Mexico. But the thing is, it's very dangerous. I mean, you won't find any white guy going up to really, really poor, dangerous neighborhoods in Tijuana and grabbing their dog and knocking on their door.
Yeah. You know, yeah.
Would you personally do that?
I mean, a chained up dog in Tijuana, that's probably a stay away from me territory. Like,
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? But I just, you know, given my previous history, stuff like that, I'm just like, I feel that what I'm doing is like for the betterment of them and of the animal. And you slowly but surely kind of kill them with kindness. In any argument, especially with social media and trolls and stuff like that, everybody that's upset and angry, they're looking for a fight. You know, but if you just say, "Hey, are you okay? What's wrong?" Or, "Hey, you know, I got a free collar and leash for your dog, and hey, you know, if you leave the dog out, and if you think that we can give the dog a better life, hey, here's my information. Just let me know. I mean, we can have this dog sleeping in a bed by tomorrow night." So, you know, that's all you can really do down there, because essentially I'm just a guest in Mexico. I don't have my citizenship there. I'm just a guest. And I mean, it's very easy to get, you know, locked up in Tijuana or, you know, get shot at or stabbed. I mean, it's
so how did because I mean I told you before, I said I named this stream Saving Puppies and Dodging Bullets, but literally, like, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like how did you find yourself in that situation?
Oh, well, one instance, I was in a pretty rural area in Mexico, very poor, and that's where you find the most animals. And I was just feeding a bunch of dogs out of my hands like this, and a guy walks up behind me with a butcher knife and tries to rob me. And when I refused to give him my money and my keys and my cell phone, he went and he stabbed me at this motion, and I have a good slice mark right here where he got me. And then I've been shot at down there just in traffic instances where people are just aggressively, and I have a large SUV with rims and stuff like that, and it doesn't give the right attention, so it causes anger. So luckily somebody donated a minivan to our nonprofit. It's getting fixed right now, and I'll be taking that down as soon as next Wednesday.
Or a little low pro.
Exactly. Right now I'm driving a Cadillac Escalade down there, and yeah, it brings up a little bit too much attention.
You pulled up on that. We put the crate in there. I was like, all right, this guy's heading down to TJ with his helper and his little puppy, and I'm like, all right, this guy's a little nuts, but I guess I'm trusting him with my dog right now because he seems like he has good intention. And I was saying while you were away that at no point when I contacted you, until basically I had to bring it up myself. Did you say, oh, listen, this is the service provider, this is exactly what's going to cost you, and this is what I need? Like, you were just like, let's worry about Baxter first, let's get him down there, let's get you so you're not worried about it, and then later on it was like, all right, this is what it is. And then even eventually, like, because I think you were busy at the time we had to pick him up, so I had to get somebody to pick him up for me, but they quoted me a price. And then when I got there, they're like, "Oh, no! You get the Brian price." and then it was already like low, and then they're like, "It's even lower. It's even lower. You get the Brian price." And I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, I mean, I try to help everybody. I know how hard it is, and that's why I say, "Hey, I save you thousands of dollars. Do you mind being a monthly donor?" Every little bit helps. It really does. I mean, if I have around 300,000 followers in total. So I say, okay, if everybody did $10 a month, that would be $3 million a month. I don't expect 100% of people to donate, but hey, imagine if we all stuck together and did, and that's when you could actually make a difference in a whole city of Tijuana with the funding. Then you could actually do something. So I only am able to do what I can do based off of my own limitations. Of course, I want to be able to hire a full team, and I want to be able to open up hospitals, and I want to be able to go ahead and afford vans and bring people's animals down and live video document everything for them so they can actually be there. That's in the future. That's where I'm trying to get to. But right now, I just got to work with what I have. And slowly but surely, people like you're putting me on your podcast. I appreciate that. And we're reaching more and more and more of an audience. And I hope that these people take the time to actually look at the thousands of posts that we've done, including one of your dog. I mean, it's really far down there, really far down there. But I mean, we work our butts off 7 days a week, 12 plus hours a day. And the IRS says, Brian, you can pay yourself not once, but twice. And I just don't take any funds from donations. I feel if you donate to the animals, I think that should not go in my pocket. That should go back towards the animals. And just like those two little pit bull puppies today, if you guys view our Instagram, there was a homeless lady in Tijuana that was giving away these puppies. And one of our volunteers said, Brian, can you help? So we found a foster. And as we're speaking right now, they're in the borderline right now coming to San Diego. Now, they need to be fed every 2 hours because they're only 8 days old. If not, they die.
Yeah.
And this is the lady that's just sitting there homeless with all of her belongings in her purse. And that's why I said your donations save lives, because they really do. And we want people to understand that, hey, we don't pay ourselves. Hey, we've helped thousands of animals, and also we've saved families millions of dollars on animal medical care. And we've been doing this for years. So if you're going to support an organization, support the one that's not a flash in the pan. Look at me. I did this today. I did that. We don't do that. If you go through our posts, it's all about the animals. It's all about the animals. And I didn't even tell my story until year 4 of why I do what I do. It took 4 years for me to even share my story.
How did you, I mean, all right, so we're talking, it's pretty easy. If you're watching the stream or if you're a supporter, like I said, I have a few charities that I get behind. Go
ahead and put me on mute. And I'll
dog.
All right, guys, we're live with WeSaveThePuppy.org founder Brian Volbenzi. Recommend that you guys go check him out on Instagram. You can find him across all platforms if you just look for literally "We Saved a Puppy," and you can donate, become a foster. Somebody just dropped off a French bulldog apparently.
So we're doing a stenotic surgery for this big guy tomorrow, and I actually saved this guy. How long ago was it?
Oh, probably like 8 months, maybe.
Maybe 8 months to a year ago. He was having a lot of problems breathing. He calls me up. He's like, Brian, and how did you hear about me?
Yeah, my brother.
Your brother.
You guys did some volunteer work at the dog.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's right. His brother did some volunteer work at the dog when we did an adoption event there. And he's like, hey, man, I don't want to bring my dog to emergency care. It's going to cost me $2,500. And we ended up bringing the dog for medical care, saving this guy right here. His name is Pig, and he has issues breathing, so we're doing a stenotic surgery for him tomorrow. We're also doing that. We're trying to save that other dog's leg that got run over by a car tomorrow, and then 2 or 3 more surgeries on top of that. All right, so you go back to your dad. So, like, as you can see, I mean, it's what time? It's 8:41 p.m., and I'm still on the clock. I'm still working, and I'm taking care of this pup tonight because he has to work in the morning, so he can't drop off the dog to me. So I'm babysitting the dog for free for him to take care of the dog. So it's like you said, I'm in it to win it. I've been doing this for years, and we've saved thousands of animals. We do what we say, essentially.
So I was just sending the link to Jace, who's the person that actually put me in touch with you when all this was happening. So he said he saw that we were live and he was going to try to stop by. But yeah, so how do people? I mean, because I've seen some of your posts. Obviously, the number one thing that you need, you're not paying yourself. You're putting all this money back into it. You're putting yourself at physical danger to go out there and do something that you're passionate about, which is. Yeah. But what is, let's say somebody's not a longtime donator and they just hear about your organization. What is the vetting process like? Because I know you said that for the people that are looking for the puppies, that if they're longtime collaborators or they're sharing your stories and stuff like that, you'll put that into consideration. But let's say person A and B, are both looking for like one of these one of these pitties when they become available, although I would assume that would be probably a few months from now.
All right, let's take care of your guy.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Cool.
All right.
What?
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no,
no, you guys are good.
Oh, you want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up, man?
He's going to save my puppy for me.
Good, man. He saved mine. That's why I'm talking to him.
Yeah, we saved his pit bull back there about a year and a half ago.
Oh, no kidding.
He wouldn't stop bleeding out from his nose.
Oh, what happened?
He had eaten some bones or something, and it was going to cost me like $5,000 to get it taken care of here.
Wow. And my man Brian took care of you?
Yeah, it ended up costing me like $300.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy, he's a legend. It's a godsend.
Thank you, man. It's not even me, dude. It's not me. It's Lizzy. Lizzy's the legend. That's all Lizzy.
We got live testimonials happening on Fireside Chats here.
All right.
He just gets in like a 1/4 cup of food.
Let's give him a second here. All right, so again, live here with Mr. I'm going to give you guys some personal news right now, just because I got you here on the phone. This March 11th, my film, El Ladrón de Bicicletas, The Bicycle Thief, will be playing live in San Diego at the San Diego South Bay Drive-In. It is during pandemic time, so obviously it's rough to be able to do events like that. But if you are in the San Diego area, on March 11th, there is going to be a screening for the San Diego Latino Film Festival. They're going to be showing the movie Zoot Zoot, which is a classic. And then after that, they'll be showing some short films that are made by mostly filmmakers here in San Diego and Tijuana as part of the Frontera Filmmakers Showcase. And one of the movies being shown here at the bottom is my movie, The Bicycle Thief, El Ladrón de Bicicletas. Here it is. Here's the movie. Here's a link to it. You can check it out. So San Diego Latino Film Festival, March 11th. We'll be there. Team Burrito will be representing. So we recommend that you guys come check us out. Also, there's another film playing, but we'll talk about that later. Let's get back to Mr. Brian. We're having live testimonials with people showing up to drop off dogs. Even during your podcast, even during a live stream, you got people dropping dogs off. Hold on. Let me unmute you. Sorry.
So it's a never-ending kind of thing, but hey, it's helping out, so why not?
I'm assuming that when you started this, you had to get your feet wet first in terms of stumbling maybe a little bit out of the gate.
A lot. You're always learning, and that's the thing. You need to always have that humble attitude. You know very little because you're not an expert, and I always say that. I'm just learning as I go, and my heart's in the right place, and we're all human beings, and I don't want people to ever assume anybody behind a camera or a social media influencer or even Leonardo DiCaprio is perfect. We all stumble, we all fall, we all make mistakes. So we need to realize that, and we need to be more forgiving, just in general. And that's the number one reason why I video document everything so well. You don't have to think and guess, is he doing what he says he's doing? Because I take the guesswork out of it. But I think that we should be more like loving towards each other rather than, kind of putting others down, because people are so quick to put others down. And, we work, our lives in some cases to do what we do. I mean, you started this podcast, you had a vision, and here you are today, and you have a lot of people following you, and people need to understand that we're all just people. He's like, you're the man. And no, I'm not the man. I'm just doing something that I feel passionate about, and that's it. Take ego out of everything and just realize that we're all just people. That's all we are, is just people. We need the same things just as anybody else.
What would you say? At what point in the process did it become like, okay, this is becoming 24/7 all encompassing, like point of no return? Was that right away? Was that like a year in, 2 years in, 4 years in when you started to tell your story more?
I just started to tell my story just past couple of weeks ago. So I like, everybody's like, why do you do this? And I was like, well, personal reasons. I mean, and then, I finally decided, I should let people know why I do what I do. And it was that horrific motorcycle accident that they tried to amputate my leg. And it almost left me paralyzed with a broken neck. And I, built myself up. I got out of the wheelchair, and it was a struggle. So it was about probably 2.5 years into when I was doing it, where it started just becoming more and more. And we got partnered up with the San Diego Humane Society for Animal Medical Care. So they're sending, and then we have animal hospitals sending us business as well. The good ones anyway, that says, okay, well, they just can't afford us and they don't qualify for care credit. So let's go ahead and refer them to We Saved a Puppy. And so we're just slowly but surely, we're just in the beginning of where we're at.
No, you got a lot of big plans for it.
Yeah, I do.
But I think what I think I was asking you this question before you got interrupted because there are people dropping you dogs off. But like I said, you take special care. The people that are following, monthly donators that know eventually they want to support a cause because they know maybe they're not ready today, but they know in a few months or something they're going to move in somewhere. They're going to be ready to help out and to adopt a dog or to foster a dog. But
he's heavy.
Boy, that's a big boy.
He is.
But when a brand new person that might be new, that might see you on the stream or might see you, like you just come across their radar. Yeah. What are the main things that you do to sort of vet them as somebody that you feel comfortable placing one of your animals in with them? What's the main thing that you?
I've had one instance where a guy kept on hitting me up on Instagram. He's like, I want a pit bull, I want a pit bull, I want a big male pit bull.
And then his Instagram was private. And I was like, okay, well, can you unprivate your Instagram? And he just kind of refused. And later on, I learned out he was fighting pit bulls. And that was on his social media because somebody saw that he mentioned something, and then they found out, and then they messaged me. Of course, I didn't. So that's one thing, transparency. I want to see, what your life is about. I mean, are you traveling all the time? Then, maybe a dog's not for you. Are you home all the time? Like, it just really depends on the animal, because we also adopt cats out too. So, sometimes people want a dog, and I'm like, hey, given your circumstances, why don't you try fostering a cat? But as far as getting on the quick to adopt, the cheat code essentially is becoming a foster. Fosters have first choice in adopting. So if you've been fostering for a while and you're like, hey, I really love this dog, well, then I'm like, great. Well, then you can adopt that dog, because they're supporting our nonprofit. And without a foster, we can't pick up that dog out of the street.
Got it. I mean, you hear horror stories about people that are like that, saying don't put your dogs up on Craigslist or Facebook, because people that are looking for bait dogs or dogs for fighting rings and stuff like that sometimes get them, and then they get destroyed shortly after, stuff like that. So you got to really be careful if you are getting rid of a dog or placing a dog, stuff like that. I mean, that's got to weigh heavy. You don't want to do all this work.
I actually alleviate that whole situation, because what I do when they adopt, I have them. Part of the adoption is helping our algorithm out on social media. I want you to show me. I want you to tag. I want you. And also, before the pandemic, I was doing sunset with pups at Fiesta Island the last Sunday of every month between sunset hours. And we buy food, and we have tables. We have a bonfire pit. We bring the barbecue grill out there, and we spend a couple bucks on food for everybody. And it's a potluck, so people bring food too. And those people that adopted the dogs, we all get together once a month and just kind of collaborate and see how the pups are doing medically and physically. And, do they need help with training? Because we also offer discounted dog training and grooming when you adopt. Another thing that how we differentiate ourselves from other rescues is you get full medical evals, you get blood work, you get plasma work, you get NexGard, you get parasite, deworming, heartworm medication. We give you a leash, a collar, toys, treats, harness, discounted grooming, discounted training, and up to 90% off of all future medical care. Okay, go play with Lizzy. They may be playing a little bit loud, so just.
No, that's all right. If anybody knows about working with dogs in the background, it's me.
Yeah, there you go. Good job.
So, because I wanted to, okay, this thing happens to you. You decide to start putting the work in. A few years later, you start making it more personal, telling your story. You go through these situations where you've literally almost taken bullets, taken stab wounds for these animals. You got the vetting process. There's the ways for people to get involved, but and then you also have a full-time job. So if your work is your work and your passion is your passion, what do you do to unwind?
Take my dog for a hike. I mean, that's the thing. Until I get the funding to actually afford to hire, people, I'm just going to have to keep on pushing that big old boulder up that hill, which is getting me stronger. And that's what it comes down to. Things make you or break you. And as long as you believe in something, just like when you pick a stock, if you're an investor, you look at the long game. You're like, okay, Tesla, let's look at this guy. Okay, what's he doing? Okay, I'm in it for the long haul. Stock's worth $21 now, and then it went up to $850. And that's kind of the way I look at it, any kind of a career choice that you make. You need to believe in it. And once you really believe in it, then you can take it much, much further, because even though you're fighting against the crab effect, have you heard about that, the crab effect?
Yeah, absolutely. Crabs in a bucket?
Once you're trying to get people grab you and pull you down, and it's really sad that people have that mentality, and instead of helping people out and saying, We want you to be successful. So I've had to fight against that. And I would say that's probably the biggest issue that I've had doing this. The animals I've never had an issue with. But that's the thing. If you look at anybody who has any kind of success in anything, they're always going to get, the adverse, peoples, the trolls, stuff like that, which luckily I almost never have had because I video document everything so well. But you'd be surprised. I mean, it's very sad, but it does happen.
Right, and then that's another reason to keep everything, transparent, et cetera. And hopefully we get you to that point, or you get to that point where you can bring some people on from help, dedicated social media people, et cetera, drivers, all this stuff. Right now, you're doing this all, out of your own heart and out of your own pocket for the most time. One of the things I want to talk to you about, because we talked a little bit about like people that do the work, but that seem to be doing for clout, for likes, for stuff like that. When you see maybe somebody that's putting a lot of effort into like the thing about the Chinese outdoor markets where you can buy dogs and stuff, or eating dogs or stuff like that.
Yulin Dog Festival. Is that what you're speaking about?
Yeah. So if you see somebody that spends a lot of time on that particular issue, do you think that because obviously that's not going to change? I think that there's a certain amount of pressure that Instagram people or Twitter people in the United States will have effect on it. It has to really. It's not like they see it anyway. So it's almost kind of like almost a losing battle, because that's something that China almost has to change on its own, because their culture is how they treat everything as edible, But when you see people that are putting efforts into those types of things, do you think that's effort that they could be more putting into their local communities, in terms of like, if you're really worried about a dog that's going to get eaten tomorrow in China, there's 10 dogs in your shelter that are at risk of being put to death like tomorrow, today. Do you feel that way? Do you think it's just good that people have that in their mind?
Exactly what you're talking about. So let's go ahead and like look at it from a moral standpoint. So a lot of these other people that are posting animals, first off, they've never even met the animal. They can't do anything about it. They're like, and they're showing these horrific things, and they're doing it for attention. It's just really sad. I think if your heart is in the right place, I don't think that you're doing things for likes and shares. I think that's a great thing, and I think eventually it will come. But that's when you're not really passionate about it. You're passionate about getting likes and shares. You're passionate about showing off. And sadly, especially in this instant gratification society that we are in, especially in Southern California, I think a lot of people prey victim to that. And they go home, they close the door to their room, and they put their head to their pillow, and they wonder why they're not fulfilled that day. They wonder why am I not happy? Well, maybe it's because you were doing it to get those likes and shares, because you cared so much about what others thought about you. You weren't doing it for the right reasons. And that just goes on to talk about maturity. I mean, we have all been immature, every single one of us. And, even at, 60 years, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe when I'm 55, I'll be doing something. We're just human beings. And that's why I said in the beginning, hey, we're all human beings. Stop taking everything so seriously. And somebody who makes a mistake 3, 4, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you can't hold that over that person anymore. So if we are able to forgive ourselves and love ourselves, and feel comfortable with ourselves and find out what we truly are passionate about. And there's such a large community out there. I mean, look at these people that are vegans. Look at these people that are, vegetarians or pescatarians, or there's so many different passions out there. And I say focus on that, but focus on it for the right reasons. Do what you do for the right reasons. Don't do it because you're trying to be an influencer and look at me, and do it because you want to gain partnerships with pet stores and, this and that, and have them pay under the table to. And if you look you've seen my social media, do you know how many influencers and how many stores contact me? We have a pet store and we want to pay you to advertise on. And you know what I say? I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it. And that's how I just think is just morally right. And that's how when I lay my head down at night in this very house, I can say, okay, hey, maybe today wasn't the best day. Maybe something bad happened. Hey, my tire blew out on the freeway the other day. That sucked. But still, it's like things happen in life. What we need to do as a people is just stop taking everything so serious and stop jumping on bandwagons. Just stop. You know, if you're passionate about something, don't go follow somebody who's passionate about something. Go do it yourself. And maybe you can't go to Mexico, you know, this many days a week and do that, and you don't speak Spanish, and that's fine.
Yeah,
Do
but you
something in
can.
your community. I mean, there's plenty of homeless people that have dogs that they need food and a little bit of help. Find what you can do and do what you can do. Nobody wants you to lift buildings and move mountains. Do a little bit, because a little bit actually makes you feel happier inside. It gives you confidence, especially when you're doing it the right way and for the right reasons. And imagine if everybody had that concept. I mean, you have these people, they get their phone, they flip it around. You know, how many times have we seen this video? Hey guys, I'm here with this dog and I'm doing this, and look at, like, you know, it shouldn't be about like you. It should be about where your effort is going. And you know, that's what I've put together. And you know, I that's just the way I think that people should do it. I mean, of course, we all want to be liked.
Absolutely.
We all want to be liked.
But I think there's a difference.
Specifically about being liked, you know, it's just, that's why people are so hollow. You know, that's why people are so, why am I so depressed? Why do I have an addiction with this and that? Why do I have the need for this? Once you understand that you need to love yourself more than those around you, we have a society of people that love people that they've never met. It's just insane. So
just as important, you got to be able to forgive yourself, because we carry a lot of bullshit around because we think that we should be guilty for something that we can't change, you know, which is anything past this second, right?
Yeah.
So you got to love yourself, be comfortable with yourself.
I mean, are you going to get a chain and you know, put 100-pound weight on it and walk around all day? No. There's a great saying that a university professor said. He came out and he said, okay, check out this water. And everybody expected it to say, is the glass half full or half empty? And no, he said, okay, I'm holding this glass. If I hold it for a minute, what will happen? And they're like, okay, well, nothing. What about an hour? And they're like, okay, well, it will probably start hurting your arm. What about 8 hours? I'm just holding this glass. What about 24 hours? Okay, well, why are you holding that glass? Just put the glass down. All these things that we feel bad about ourselves, all these things that we hold on to, the regrets or the mistake that you made when you were 17, whatever those issues may be, just put that glass down.
That we can't change.
Your arm is hurt. Your arm is hurt. Nobody, it doesn't matter if that glass weighs 8 ounces. I mean, and you're the strongest person on the planet. You hold that glass for 24 hours and you're going to be very sore. So let's all stop holding these negative notions about ourselves and let's just put it down. And then also let's stop holding negative notions about somebody else. I mean, we're human beings. We are prone to make mistakes. You're prone to make mistakes. So stop judging people so hardcore and then viciously attacking and hating when you don't even know these people. You don't know what happened to them in their childhood. You don't know what they have to deal with on a daily basis. You saw a 60-second clip of something at somebody at their worst. And now you have hate in your heart to give. Why not put that hate towards something that really deserves it? You know, like child molesters or, you know, whatever. And focus on giving love to the world. Imagine how much better a society that we would be.
Yeah, I mean, lofty goals, but I mean, there's truth in it, and obviously, my point I think was that yeah, there's a difference between somebody like you who tries to document things for the sake of transparency and because you want to make sure everybody understands exactly what you're doing and where the donations are going, and somebody who's like, hey, I'm gonna go buy 40 double cheeseburgers and take them to homeless avenue and give them out and put myself on. Yay, I'm over here feeding the homeless. Look at me. Hey, check it out. I'm giving you a cheeseburger, which is, I think, maybe well intentioned, but I think, like I said, my goal is that, like, if people, my thing is, like, people seem to focus their energy on existential problems that they can't solve. Like I do the meat market as an example, because that's a Chinese issue. No matter how many times you tweet about it, no matter how many times you post about it, China doesn't give a fuck about you. And that's something that has to change from their culture. They have to decide to do it. The pressure we put them in is nothing. But if somebody has that energy and feels a certain type of way about something where animals or stuff unconvert, like you said, there's homeless people locally in your own neighborhoods that have dogs that could use help. Maybe they could, hey, do you need me to take your dog to the vet? Do you need me to hook you up with some, blah, 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 flea medication, etc. There's also programs where you can go walk shelter animals or spend some time with them when they get feed to help them stay acclimated for when they do find a home. You can post about demystifying, like you said, castration and neutering and stuff like that, so that especially minorities and other cultures are a little bit start to understand more and more. I mean, I had people inside my culture, Mexican, Latino, and they were like, oh, I can't, they were all crazy about having their dogs with puppy. And I was just like, listen, you're too smart to have this opinion. I can't respect you. You're too smart a person to think that Southern California needs more Chihuahuas and that you need to breed your dog because she's such a pretty dog. You're too smart of a person to not realize that there's pit bulls and Chihuahuas are the number 1 and 2 breeds that get slaughtered on a daily basis. They're Chihuahuas, pit bulls are the sweetest breed of dog. They're protective and sweet, and there's thousands of them right now. You got an 8-day-old pit bull that people can look at on your Instagram that needs help. There's also a 4-month-old and a 3-month-old and a 6-month-old and an 8-month-old pit bull at the buyer probably animal shelter because somebody thought that they didn't want to that their dog wouldn't look manly enough because they cut their dogs off. They cut their balls off. And so that dog found another pit bull in heat. And now that person had 9 pit bulls when they only wanted 1 because they didn't have their bitch spayed. And now they have to figure out what to do with 9 fucking pit bulls. And then inevitably 2 or 3 of those end up on death row. So, so wanting to breed your dogs because you think you love animals and that's what animals want is just idiotic. And this is what I've told several friends of mine, and thankfully they're like, yeah, you know what, I had my dog spayed, so
yeah,
I think that more education needs to be in place, and a lot of it, and this is because and you're aware with it, but you're but I can speak more of it because I grew up with it as a Latino, and some of it is us having to just get rid of these stupid cultural things and thought process, machismo stuff that we've had, and this relationship with animals that, we can tie them up all day and we want them to be angry and this and that. You can have the most sweet, lovingest dog. If somebody walks into your house with bad intentions, that dog will protect you. You don't have to tie it outside, keep it around its rope to make it mean for it to protect your house. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting off on a rant because I get, that's the reason that I'm passionate about pit bulls and breeds getting bad things and this type of stuff is because I understand that a lot of it comes from different cultures having different relationship with animals.
And if I can interject for just a second.
Sorry, go ahead. I was sorry, rant over.
No, it's not about that because I was actually going to add on to what you're saying because I completely agree with you. So right now, our government's kind of placed Democrat, Republican, and you go to any forum when it has to do with politics, and it's just like da 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 da. And you see people posting Facebook posts. They're saying, "Oh, well, the Republicans are all this way and the Democrats are all this way, and this is how you are. So if you're coming at a culture or somebody's religious beliefs or political beliefs and you say, hey, you're wrong, nobody ever wins that argument because both become defensive and logic comes out of the mind when you're aggressive. We all know that, right? So try like going at a different path. So like if I agree with something like politically and I see a post on TikTok or whatever, Instagram, and I'm like, okay, this makes a really good point, and hey, I'm this or I'm that party, and I want to showcase it. Now, if I text, yep, all Republicans are wrong, ... watch this. Well, first off, no one's going to watch it, this Republican, because they're just like, but however, if you go about it, you say, hey, I thought this video was very interesting. Like, can you guys fact check this for me? Or, hey, like, what do you guys think about this? You see, then they can use their logical brain. Same thing with people in different cultures when it comes to animals. I'm like, okay, cool. Can you like fact check? Like, or do you think this is the best way to do that? So instead of like being aggressive, because aggression begets aggression, and people just like animals, it's only gonna to cause a fight. And we see some radical fights on social media, and it's just a crash and burn, and nobody wins, and people are picking sides. But imagine if people like took the time to like understand why people react the way they did. Hey, they were born in this culture, and you gotta like. It's just is it right? No. But if you try to appeal to their sense of decency and get them to use their logical brain and then put it in a way where they're teaching you something. Oh, hey, like, is that the best? Is that how you change your dog? Like, oh, hey, your dog's super well behaved. Like, how do you get it to act like that? Like, okay, cool. What do you have any other training techniques? Because essentially what you're doing is you're taking that it could have been a really bad, aggressive social media experience and nobody wins and you both go to bed angry and you turn that into like, okay, because I believe everybody has something to teach us, from all these different cultures. And so like that really just goes towards getting like at peace. And not just that, because being at peace is difficult because people are always testing you. But it just comes with time. Just like you said, how long did it take you to get where you are today? Was it overnight? It was years. It was years. And that's what happens. If you study something, I mean, do you think a doctor, week one in medical school can just go do brain surgery? No. You have to put your time and your effort. And a lot of people do not know how to speak with other people. They don't know how to speak with other people. When you're fighting, they're going to fight with you. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And most people can't say, hey, like, what's going on? Like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, I see you're upset. Like, cool. Like, I get it. Like, what's cool? Oh, hey, man, like, I see your dog that's in the yard. I have a leash and a collar. Imagine if I was pounding on that door. I'm like, you POS. You see what I'm saying? You leave your dog out here all day in the hot sun or this or that, You see what I'm saying? What would that have accomplished? And also, that probably would have gotten me stabbed or shot again. Yeah. So you have to be able to like know where you fit in.
Thankfully, these people that I yelled at were close
more
friends.
bees with honey than vinegar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's just the truth. That saying is absolutely true.
Oh, it's all right. I get angry with my friends. The people that I'm yelling at are personal, but I do understand what you're saying about, in general, when you try to get your point across online, we fall back on when we get frustrated or triggered on aggressive defense strategies and getting that. So, in theory, so you're teaching us about animal adoption and also about how to be more zen. With Brian Volbenzi here from WeSaveThePuppy.org. We've been taking a look at his Instagram, learning a lot about his trials and tribulations as somebody running a nonprofit and what that entails, going down into dangerous territory and mixing it up with all kinds of different people in his quest to help animals. And obviously, as you can tell, by me having Shy Girl and Baxter in the back of all my streams, sleeping because they're lazy and that's all they do. it's something that I care about. I care a lot about pit bulls. I care a lot about fostering. I care about changing perceptions in culture, specifically Latin American culture, about how we feel about dogs, and how we need to change what they mean culturally so that we can help save them and help them be a better part of our lives.
Yeah.
And about what we can do right now. Like literally right this second, what you can do to help out, which is go to wesavethepuppy.org, become a monthly donor. Maybe like I said, like I'm not in a position where I can help out too much monetarily, but I wanted to at least be able to help promote and get you in front of more eyeballs. And there's also other ways that people can help out. So you need fosters, you need people that might have, let's say you don't have dogs anymore, but you have toys, you have crates. You have maybe a Sentry Pass or something, and you're open to helping drive the animals back and forth across the border. There's a lot of ways that people can help out, right?
Oh, most definitely. And you can always give us a call at that 1-800 number. I'll put it up again for you. There we go. 1-877-787-7728. And I'll actually, since you mentioned pit bull. So I had rescued this little guy when he was just a baby. He had parvovirus. I named him Rocky because he was a little fighter. He survived it. And the poor little guy passed away from distemper at month 9. And this is my little blue-nosed pit bull, and that's why he is on my logo. We 3D animated him.
Nice.
And now he is helping us save animals, on a daily basis. So, it's hard to lose an animal. It really is. And, sadly, I've lost a lot of animals in my lifetime, and also just doing rescue. And it's, at least this little guy now kind of has a legacy. And, when I'm really down and out and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, trolls or people or getting calls at 4:00 in the morning, it's hard. I just say, what, my little guy, he's looking over me and he's helping me, save these animals too. And, I'm doing it also for him, for myself, and for the community, and for these poor animals that don't have a voice.
Absolutely, man. And I guess I wouldn't have anybody on the show, on the stream, on the podcast. People hit me up, hey, I have this, I'm promoting, I have this, and I'm just like, I don't, I have people that I find interesting or that are doing things that I believe in. And, like I said, wesavethepuppy.org. Another one that I like to always give shout outs to is artsforabettertomorrow.org, which is my friend Jose Yenkis. They are a program here in San Diego and Tijuana that helps teenagers deal with trauma through the arts. And in San Diego, in the South Bay as well, communitythroughhope.org. I'll put the other one up for you as well. Okay. Communitythroughhope.org and arts. Arts.
I'll give a picture because I'm partnering up with a guy who has a nonprofit when it's doing with artists, supporting artists. So meeting up with him on Saturday. So I'm keeping this as a favorite. And maybe we could do some collab with him too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's my friend Jose Yenke. He's an actor, and they have a program in San Diego, Los Angeles, Tijuana, and it's basically just acting and the arts as a way to cope with trauma, PTSD and stuff for kids, and to help kind of use that. So, like I said, I'm only going to bring people on that I believe in, or things that I've used myself, or people that have worked with directly. I've been doing this during pandemic, sort of to just keep myself creative and to have human interaction. So that's why I always was like, hey, it's time to get Brian on, because I've been seeing you've been real active on socials, and I want to get the word across. So the last thing I wanted to ask you, and then I want to do a cool bit with you. So we'll do something fun before it ends, but. Can you talk a little bit about expectations when you do? Because all right, people want to do the right thing, right? They're getting a 2-year-old a dog. Your dogs are still going to act like puppies until they're like 3 or 4 most of the time, right? Yeah. So whether you get a 2-month, a 3-month, a 5-month-old puppy, they're still puppies for a while. Maybe you get a dog that was malnourished or on the streets or had a medical condition. Dogs need a certain amount of time, probably at least a week, to sort of acclimate themselves to a new location. But what are some of the things that you kind of talk to people about, sort of to set the expectation of what to expect when they're getting an animal from somebody specialized like you that's getting these at-risk dogs? Because, you know, like you said, we saw the picture. You know, the best case scenario is you have a dog that's like, fuck, I got my own yard and the grass. This is me. I'm just laying out all day. But there's also, you know, other scenarios where the dogs are going to take time to adapt. Can you speak a little bit about that and kind of how you prepare people for that?
Oh, most definitely. So, first off, we look at the age of the dog, and then we kind of go accordingly. If it's a puppy, we just say, hey, this is like having a child. It's going to need attention. It's going to need love. It's going to need, like those little 8-day puppies that we just got in. Guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to wake up every single 2 hours. They need to get bottle-fed goat milk every single 2 hours. So that conversation that we're having with that foster right now is way different than somebody who adopts a 3-4-month-old puppy. So it's all situational. But on average, you know, they want to know, hey, how do you potty train? I teach them some great tricks. How do you leash train? I teach them some great tricks. If they're fostering, you know, of course, we want them to kind of train them for when they do get adopted. It'll just make it that much easier. But I just say, like, you know, welcome your new baby boy, your baby girl. Like, this is going to be your child, and this animal is going to look up to you like you're its parent, and vice versa. And this is scientifically proven. So it's just give love, give the time. And you know, when we do vet for people to adopt through us, we're looking out for the best interests of the dog. Do you have the space? If you're coming at me, you live in a studio and you want a 100-pound dog, I'm gonna be like, well, you know, probably not gonna work for you, but here's a cat. So, you know, every situation is different, and you don't really learn that. And then also you have to be able to weed out the people that are, you know, have bad intentions with these animals. You know, and that's why, you know, the beautiful thing with social media, where I can kind of, you know, just kind of see what they're putting out to the world. What kind of vibe are they? You know, I got a guy who he loves to surf and he wants a dog that he could teach to surf. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, you know? So it's just, everything is situational. There's never the day that's the same for me. It's always different. So I hope that answered the question.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like, well, one thing that I just thought about, because I had this conversation online about something. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember seeing, but do you remember that there's this dog, and his owner worked at an airport, like in Alaska. So he had this dog that's like, you know, and they had him working at the airport. And what he would do is when a plane was coming or going, he would chase away the geese, because the geese in that area were huge, and if they got mixed up with the choppers and the things, it could be tragic. So this dog, and he had the little thing and the vest on and everything. This dog was just happy as a fucking dog, running around,
chasing birds.
And I remember this super woke ass person was like, "Well, this is borderline abuse, and this dog needs to be compensated, and this and that, and how is this dog's interest being served?" And I was like, if you're really worried about that dog, like, why don't you worry about, like, some of the dogs that are, like, homeless in your area or that are at shelters right now? Why would you? Oh, well, you're trying to change the subject. That doesn't take. And I was like, how do you want to open up a bank account in the dog's name? Do you want to, like, give it like an exit strategy? I mean, like, there's.
So when you're dealing with a Karen, it's best not to show aggression. It's best just be like, okay, cool, and just let them do their thing, and just like, hey, I'm so happy that you have those belief systems. That's wonderful for you, because, you know, wasting your time with people like that, it's just really
yeah, that's not I just think it's like it's funny that, I mean, but that's their nature. You like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like telling me, hey man, there's a job where you can, you know, make movies and you know, smoke weed all day and have interesting conversation, and I'm like, sign me up. You know, that's I'm not.
I put it really simply, like, so if you're angry inside,
right.
Are you looking to build other people up, or are you looking to push their buttons?
Absolutely.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, I mean, and these people, the ones that are pushing your buttons, You just have to pity them. I know that you probably went through something tragic for you to be the way that you are, and I get that. And hey,
That's kind of a reverse troll, though. Hey, I realize your life probably sucks so bad that all of a sudden you're being this way. Now you're being a little trolly yourself, Brian.
But seriously, like, why would you go out of your way? You don't know this person. You don't know anything. But you're making it a point to be so adamant about some small little 15, 30, 45 second or 60-second clip.
Yeah.
Now you're so upset, you're rageful. And then you're so rageful, you're willing to like literally use profanity, social media. I mean, obviously, you're gonna have a couple screws loose.
Absolutely.
And also you're also looking for like people. You know what bait clicking is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got these people that are posting these poor animals or these poor kids or these poor people, and they want that bait click, and then they're like, okay, well now I posted this, and now look, I have all this traffic now. So like people are very simple. People don't realize how simple.
And you got to remember that. You got to remember that the algorithms are built to maintain engagement, because I've done experiments like this before where I'll post things that are just kind of benign or about things that are important to me, but then I posted something that was like even remotely political and not necessarily leaning one way or another, but something that was just generically political, and it got in front of people that I didn't even realize were still on my friends list that never interacted with my posts, but that because it was a political point that could cause engagement and connection to the website, they were getting it, and I was getting these messages like, I can't believe you feel, like I was like, I don't even ever interact with you. Why are you even? So you also got to remember that the algorithms themselves that in some of these social medias are built specifically to keep you engaged and to show you the things first that are going to trigger you the most, so that you comment and have arguments with your uncle and your aunt on there and just make yourself look like an idiot.
Yeah, most definitely.
But I do think it's hilarious that somebody was worried about a dog having the time of his life doing what dogs are bred to do.
Dog to have specific pay too.
I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe he gets some extra treats when he gets home. Hey, he got to go to work with his dad every day. He got to chase goose, run around with his thick ass winter coat, and he had the cool goggles. The dog went viral. You didn't. Relax. Let the dog's okay. Right?
Yeah, most definitely.
You wanna have some outrage, figure out something that's happening in your hometown, and
exactly. I mean, even if it's something small, something is something.
Volunteer, spend some time.
I promise you're gonna be a happier human being if you're doing something, even if you get no recognition for it. So do something positive. Do you know how many foster children are here in San Diego?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't have a family. Do you know? There's Big Brother programs where you could say, okay, once a month on a Sunday, I'm gonna volunteer and help out some children. There's always something that you can do. As minuscule as you think it is, it will have a huge impact. And hey, who knows? Maybe that you'll be so passionate about that you want to put more time and effort into it, and then you'll be speaking about it, and maybe you'll reach somebody else who, hey, wants to do the same thing. I mean, birds of a feather flock together kind of scenario.
And one of the things, and I'll brag on you one last time, which is something that's pretty evident from what we saw today, is that it's incredible that the growth that you've had over the last year and a half is largely word of mouth. Because I heard about you through Jace, and the guy that dropped off that dog said he heard about you through his brother. So these are people that are having problems with their dogs that find you, that then recommend you to other people that have problems or that need help with their dogs, that then come on podcasts that they're not even scheduled to be on and say, this guy's the man, or that keep it with them because you helped me 18 months ago. And I say, I want to help promote this guy's brand, this company, because of the fact that I think he's a genuine person and he really helped me out in a time that I needed it. So that says something about you, man, that that a lot of what you're building is not based on algorithms or popularity, but it is based on actions, and those actions are creating relationships and impressions that are leading to more relationships and impressions and more people finding out about your brand. Which is not that it's a brand, it's an organization, but you know what I mean in terms of how you connect yourself. So,
and like I said, I'm just learning as I go here. I mean,
yeah, man.
This is all uncharted territory, and you know, you just gotta get in where you fit in. You know, that's what it comes down to.
Find something that you love and let it kill you, right?
It's come close. Check this out. This is
okay. He's flexing on me.
The flex
he's flexing on me. Might have to bust out the guns. What's going on here?
But right.
We might have to have a gun off here.
Right here. This is where I got stabbed with that butcher knife.
Okay, all right.
The quality of the video is pretty bad.
I thought we were going to have a pose down over here. You make me nervous over here, right? It's all right, man. And pandemic has been hard.
That was a really horrible time in my life, man. I was a power lifter, and going from that to being bedridden for months, I mean, man, it was sad. It was.
How's it like now?
The leg, it hurts all the time. It'll give out on me, and well, I'll show you that too. So right here, I have a metal plate that's coming up, and then my bone came out here. I don't know if you can see it at all.
Yeah, I can see a little bit.
Yeah, my bone stuck out here, and I broke my neck, and my ankle had to be partially fused. It was a shitty time in my life, man. You know, I was working my butt off. I worked for HSBC, and you know, they're like, okay, well, it's the winter season. You can work 7 days a week, 15-hour days. So my goal, to buy a condo, rent the condo out, buy a house. I wanted to get in the real estate market, and this is back in 2008. And then, of course, we had that market crash. HSBC told us, hey, don't worry, everybody. We're not laying anybody off. We're here to stay. And then the very next week, they had police show up at our facility, and we're like, what's going on? And we're like, everybody in this meeting, sorry, everybody, we're laying everybody off. Then I had insurance 60 days after we were laid off. And then, of course, my accident happened 6 days after my insurance expired.
Oh, wow.
What is the luck about that? So I'm over there. I'm like, man, I really enjoyed working out. It was like how I got out of all my stress. I didn't realize that my insurance expired. I was like, oh, because well, at least I still have insurance, And they're like, oh, no. It expired not even a week ago, 6 days ago. So you got to pay for everything on your own. And then, so all that money I'd saved up to buy the condo, medical care bills. So it was just a slap in the face on top of going through this accident. Literally, I would describe the pain level as sticking your leg in a bonfire pit.
Fuck.
It was that painful. I swear to you, it's that painful. Literally, it's just excruciating pain. I broke my leg in 36 places. I put my foot backward and upside down. I broke my neck. I dislocated my shoulders. My heart stopped for almost a minute. I had to be revived. And also I had pulmonary edema. So my lungs filled up with blood. I hit my head so hard, I collapsed my inner and outer eardrum on my right side. I still can't hear on my right side to this day. It's still deaf in this ear. So it's like, these are things that I carry, with me. And it's like, it either makes you or breaks you, man. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something to give back with this. And I said, I'm going to start a nonprofit, and I didn't know what a nonprofit was. I didn't know what a 501c3 was. I was a newbie. I was a kid. I just learned as I go. I'd research, I'd Google things, I'd Google terms. And I started out from the bare minimum, and I just slowly but surely did things. Am I doing things the best way? No, there's no way I'm doing things the best way. But do I want to? Yes. Do I study? Do I research? I do. So, and that's what I say. If every single day you at least take one step forward and take a step backwards, eventually you'll get to where you want to be. It may take 40 years, but eventually you're going to go to where you want to get. And it's a long journey. It's a long journey.
It's a journey, man. It just reminded me a little bit because, when I was growing up, I always wanted to make movies. I went to film school in the late 90s, but I was learning an outdated sort of style in terms of editing and how to make films. So I dropped out, and then when I had a side career for about 15 years, and then I finally decided I'm going to get back into making movies. I had to reteach myself everything. So starting from zero and just, I went from working 70, 80 hours a week, making over $100,000 a year, doing something that I was good at but I hated, to working 20 hours a week and not making nearly enough money a year, but being able to at least spend some of my time doing what I loved, So you got to make that decision of what's, like I said, life's only good long enough to get good at one or two things, So you got to really pick the things that you want to focus your energy on. So, and one of the things that shy girl in the back, making herself comfortable.
I remember picking her up.
Oh,
yeah. When you picked me up, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you." The dog that nose was bleeding out.
Well, no, that's shy girl. Baxter's the one that's right next to her. Yeah, Baxter's the one that's sleeping. She's the one that's like,
it's a little bit distorted, but
yeah. She's the one that's tearing things up back there. She's trying to make herself comfortable. So yeah. Long story short, I understand kind of where you're coming from in that perspective, and like I said, man, I respect you, and just wanted to do my part to help you out. I know that you do a lot of your own editing and stuff like that, but when you were talking about the kind of the basics that you give to the new adoption owners, if you at every point just get somebody to do footage of that for you, so that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over, I'd be glad, because I do corporate and training videos on top of regular editing. If you need help with that, I know you do a lot of it yourself, but if you get me some footage and some stuff like that, I can put something together for you in terms of like, hey, here's the basics. Just have somebody shoot some video of you doing it with a person one time, and then that way maybe you can send that to people as a resource and put it up there for people, to save you some time in the future. Well, I'm just trying to think of ways that I can help, and obviously besides promoting the site and stuff like that, and I'll keep promoting the website with future guests. I always do segments where on all my podcasts, because I'm not at the point of the pod where we usually get probably between all the streams and the actual podcast going out to different outlets, it's about 3,500 an episode that I'm getting. So between the different things, it's a lot, but it's a lot of hard work, and I'm not at the point where I want to ask people for money to sponsor. So the sponsors that I mention are all companies that I believe in or I've worked with, and people that I feel are doing good things in the communities and stuff like that. All right, we've talked from everything about your experiences getting hacked at while trying to do your job, about why you got into it, about your passions, about the organization WeSaveThePuppy.org. Brian Volbenzi, we've seen you take a dog live testimonials, the whole thing. But there's something that I do with all my guests, and that's what everybody knows.
No.
It's time for Bracket Bit.
Bracket Bit.
That's right, Brian. We have a logo and a song for my Bracket Bit. In case you didn't. All right.
I got my Chihuahua. She just came up after that.
All right, that's cool.
Started with a Chihuahua, and it ends with a Chihuahua.
All right.
Lizzy the Lizard.
Lizzy the Lizard. The Bracket Bit is for today is a pretty simple one. You're an animal lover. It's one that I've already had there. Today, the bracket for you is going to be Ding, ding, ding. Cats versus dogs. I'm going to put two fictional animals next to each other for you side by side, and you're going to tell me who moves on to the next round. The way the bracket bit works, Brian, is I put up the bracket. It's my bracket. It's a scientific experiment created by me, and you are the test subject. But how you fill out the bracket or what decision you make can be whatever you want. It could be whatever you think is the most important or iconic of the two. It could be which one you would rather have as your own personal pet, whatever you want, or whatever maybe Lizzy the Lizard says if she gets into your ear.
Lizzie's the boss, man.
She's the boss. So let's get to it. Let's fill this out. All right. In our first round matchup, we got famous cat Grumpy Cat versus Baxter. Not my Baxter, the Baxter from Anchorman, as in the man punted Baxter.
I would say Grumpy Cat. My friend sends me Grumpy Cat like every day. It's
all right. Grumpy Cat moves on. All right, the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland, or Old Yeller.
Oh yeah, Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
I'm old school, man.
You would have found a home for Old Yeller, maybe like an old animal's home. Like you wouldn't have taken him out back in the shed. You would have gotten him some medical.
No, he's not biting. He just needs some love, you know.
My man would have gotten him some medical attention and then placed him in like a senior dog's home, right? Yeah. Old Yeller would have gotten like 3-4 more years out of life.
Days, man.
Oh man, they had it. Oh man, spoiler alert. All right. All right, this one's a big matchup. Lassie, everybody's favorite gold. What is she?
She is a
border collie, right?
Border collie or Aussie.
All right, and everybody's favorite cat from Saturday Night Live sketches, Toonces, the cat who could drive a car. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you.
Lassie.
Lassie moves on. All right, that's a tough one. All right, Mr. Bigglesworth from Austin Powers. He's Dr. Evil's
that one.
All right, and then Brandy, I believe, is the cat from. She's a cat from some TV show.
You're gonna have to give me Mike Myers' cat on this one.
Mr. Bigglesworth. All right. From the Friends episode, Lisa Kudrow sang about Smelly Cat, but we also have a Disney classic, Pluto.
Man, Smelly Cat.
Smelly Cat moves on. All right. We're not in Kansas anymore. Toto, or brand new movie out, Tom from Tom and Jerry Firm.
I'll do Tom.
Tom. Mufasa, Big Cat, or the Chihuahua on the bracket.
Oh, I gotta go Chihuahua on this one. I gotta go Chihuahua.
We're going with the Taco Bell dog.
Come in. Hey, come on, look at this.
Look at that. She's a cutie. Budweiser Frogs or Spuds McKenzie? We got two alcoholic.
Yeah.
Which one?
The frog.
The frogs. All right. The Cat Jam Cat from our intro, or Clifford the Big Red Dog?
The Clifford.
The Aristocats, or Champ, rescued German Shepherd living in the White House currently?
Let's go Champ.
All right. Snowball, which is the Simpsons cat, or Snoopy? Oh, no. That's not. No, Snowball's not the suit. Snowball is he's a different Snowball. Snowball or Snoopy?
A Snowball from where?
I think it's from. Damn it! I did this bracket a while ago. I think it's. I know he's from that Rick and Morty episode. Their dog was named Snowball, but I don't know exactly where the
Snowball. Then I like Rick and Morty. What? Come here, buddy.
Right. We got the Cat in the Hat or Santa's Little Helper. That's the Simpsons dog.
Santa's Little Helper. Yeah.
Santa's Little Helper. He's the ultimate rescue dog. We got Garfield versus Air Bud, because there's no rule in the rule book that says dogs can't play football.
I like Garfield.
Garfield, absolutely. All right, Salem was the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then we got Mr. Peanut Butter from
Peanut Butter. Yeah.
Mr. Peanut Butter. All right, Aslan, which is the lion, but he also represents Jesus Christ and the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or everybody's behemoth dog, Beethoven.
Beethoven.
He had his own movie line. Come on, man. All right, the Smudge Table Cat, which is the cat from those Lady and the Cat memes, or Einstein, the dog from Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
All right, second round, Fast and Furious, Beethoven versus Einstein.
Beethoven.
Mr. Peanut Butter or Garfield.
Peanut butter.
Snowball or Santa's Little Helper.
We're gonna go Santa's Little Helper.
Clifford or Champ.
Clifford.
Miss Lizzy there and the Chihuahua representation or the Budweiser Frog.
Chihuahua, all day Chihuahua.
Smelly Cat or Tom from Tom and Jerry.
Let's go Smelly Cat.
Smelly Cat. Lassie or Mr. Bigglesworth.
Lassie.
Grumpy Cat or Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Old Yeller. Moving on here. Brian and Liz from WeSaveThePuppy.org. The bracket bit continues. Oh, yeah, this is a tough one. This could be the final, but instead it's a third round matchup. Two icons, Old Yeller or Lassie.
Ooh, that's a good one. Lassie.
Lassie. Old Yeller, it's time to take you out back, Old Yeller.
Hey, he was a little bit bitey, man.
He was a little bit. He's a little right. He's riding lining there. All right, we got Smelly Cat versus the Taco Bell dog.
Hold on. Yo quiero Taco Bell.
All right.
I think we got our winner right here.
This might be foregone. Let's see how the rest of the bracket plays out. Clifford or Santa's Little Helper?
Let's go with Santa's Little Helper.
Mr. Peanut Butter or Beethoven?
Peanut butter.
Mr. Peanut Butter. Wow. All right. This is a good final here, even though it looks like we have a favorite here. You've picked 4 dogs. The cats didn't make it out of the last round. So we have 4 dogs here. Taco Bell dog versus Lassie. Where are we at here? This is a foregone conclusion, right?
Yep.
All right, Taco Bell dog moves on. And on this one, who's it going to face in the final? Santa's Little Helper or Mr. Peanut Butter?
Santa's Little Helper, yeah.
Mr. Peanut Butter is out. Side note, BoJack Horseman is one of the best shows ever. 2 dogs, 1 title. And I think we have the answer right here in front of us. In the championship of dogs versus cat, the little one has become victorious. Lizzy the Lizard with her bulletproof vest because she goes down to Mexico a lot, apparently.
Oh, yeah, check out her head, man. This girl's head, man. Look at that. We got the Bell dog all day long right here.
Oh, man.
Frenchie's trying to get my attention. It's hilarious.
That's right, man. I've taken enough of your time. Like I said, my goal was just to get just to make a video so that you'd have more content, obviously, and obviously it's something that I'm very interested in. So I'm glad that we got a chance to talk, man.
Yeah, thank you. And follow us on Instagram. That's probably where I post the best. So yeah, please. We Saved a Puppy on Instagram. I think we have a couple different accounts. This one is the one that has over 10,000 followers. So please, guys, if you're bored,
like 26,000, right? Like 26,000 is what I saw.
I don't even know what it is at this point.
So it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But yeah, I put a lot of time and effort and patience and love into all this. And there's thousands of different videos that you guys can check out. I mean, and all of them are there's Lizzy right there. You can check out the one where she's wearing the dragon outfit. That one's hilarious. You gotta turn the volume up.
Do I have it up?
Mexico. Lizzy, what did you get everybody? All right, let's look. So we spent about $500. We have some.
Damn.
So you see, Lizzy bought it. You know, this little Chihuahua, she does a lot for the animals, right? Why are you looking at me like I'm crazy? Hey, but it was wonderful talking with you. I hope you guys follow us, our little adventures down in Mexico. And, we also help out orphanages down there. We help out disabled people down in Mexico as well. So we don't just help out animals, we help out children too. So,
there she goes. All right. Well, like I said, everybody, it's right there at the bottom of your screen. WeSaveThePuppy.org, or just look for We Save the Puppy literally anywhere, specifically on Instagram, where you can follow all the adventures. Brian and Lizzy, thank you again for being on, brother.
Of course, of course.
Like I said, I'll try to help out when I can, and like I said, as you move forward, if you need some help with some content and stuff like that, I'm an editor. That's what I do all day as well. So I'll be glad to lend you my services there.
I appreciate that, seriously.
So everybody go follow them on Instagram. Go donate some time. If you've been thinking about getting a dog, you should definitely, adopt one as opposed to buying one, obviously.
Mhm.
So for everybody out there, and for Tango and Shy Girl in the back who are sleeping, take it easy. See you next time. Peace out.
Adios.